can squeeze in. We'll just wait for you to come on. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Hello. Beautiful. Good morning. It's Thursday morning here in Vancouver, and I'm with my beautiful friend, Marie. Hello. So let's start by introducing Marie. We went to high school together.
We did.
Yeah, and I think she knew that more than I did. As I said in my Instagram post about a year ago, I received this beautiful message from Marie in my DM stating how she loved my work, and she reintroduced herself. And she said we went to high school together, and I was thinking back, and it was quite a long time ago. But
not that long.
No. So fast forward, we just met in person.
Yeah.
I was Marie's first, what did you call me?
Instagram date.
Yeah, I was her first
first
Instagram date. I feel very honored. Yeah. And it worked out. We're here again.
Yes.
So we met, we could have talked for hours, and we decided to collab, and here's Marie for Women in Wellness with my platform. Thank you for coming, Marie.
Thank you for having me.
So Marie is a clinical counselor. She's a registered clinical counselor. She works with the faculty at the City University in Vancouver.
Yeah.
And she's the founder of SOLA Counselling.
Yes.
Now, Marie deals with life challenges with individuals, depression, anxiety, major transitions. And as the founder of SOLA Counselling, she works with her clients to deal with healing and finding clarity and personal growth. Mm-hmm. And this is where the wellness aspect comes in. So please welcome Marie.
Thank you. Thank you. It's nice to see everybody. I'm really excited to be here. I think that mental health is really important, and it's a really great opportunity for me to connect with a different platform and a different group of people regarding a topic I think that is at the forefront of most people's thoughts around wellness. But there's so many different pieces of information, and how do you sort of siphon through it? So I'm really excited to kind of dive into some of the questions as well that we've received. So thank you.
I feel that this is going to be a 2 or 3 time
oh boy
interview, because there were so many questions, and with clinical counseling and wellness, we do intertwine, and it's just so co-related. So let's see how much we get through.
Sure.
So let's start with wellness. Marie, how is mental and physical wellness incorporated into your therapy practice?
So I'm going to backtrack a little bit. I think that there is this disparity between mental health and physical health, and I'm a very science-based practitioner, and I really think it's important for people to understand that mental health is physical health. They're not different. Your brain is physical. Neurons that are firing are physical. When we have pharmaceutical interventions for anxiety and depression, those are physical treatments through chemicals to support your brain in whatever the issue is. So I think it's really important to not only look at our physical bodies, but our brains. We just don't see our brains.
Yeah.
And when we don't see our brains, we think it's just a feeling or an experience. But actually, if we all had MRIs and CT scans in our counselors' offices, we would see the results of some of the treatments. It's just that we're very used to, I break a leg, I can see that this is broken, it might be in a cast, so I understand I have to take care of that. We don't see our brains the same way.
No.
So it's very hard. So if someone is walking down the street and they have high levels of anxiety or depression, they generally look the same. So I think it's a really important part to be mindful around mental health and physical health are the same. And what you do in your work is actually really important for what I do in my work. they're not silos, they're together.
Absolutely.
So that's my long answer.
Okay. Yeah, it's one and the same. Yes, just like mind, body, soul. Okay, so when we speak of mental health concerns, how does then it relate to physical concerns?
Well, I think I want to stay in my lane of training, but I'm sure most people have various different practitioners for different issues. So you might have a physio, you have a medical doctor, you might have a naturopath, an osteopath, right? You know, various different people who can help you with body and movement, right? That's a very specific and important piece I think that people should practice daily. So I think that there is this piece around managing, trying to think of the way it would be the easiest way to navigate this. I think there's a piece around trying to manage and balance where you might run a deficit. So if you're trying to manage a very stressful time, some people may need more physical movement than they do counseling, or they may need counseling more than physical movement. And sometimes having practitioners help you navigate that can really give you the clarity so that you can move through it. There are some specific things that can happen, especially I work a lot with trauma, which I know is a scary word, but it really isn't. There's big T traumas and little T traumas. And I think that those can really impact how someone's overall well-being can either thrive or be impacted, right? So you look at women have very high levels of autoimmune diseases compared to men. Well, if you look at the scope of pressure generally that women will take on, and being a bit heteronormative here, but there is a lot of data and a lot of studies to say that there is a lot more pressure on women than men in terms of managing stress levels and expectations, or what I think has been termed invisible load. So the statistics around it, I think we've talked about, around a married woman will live a shorter, less healthy life than a married man, and the stats flip on the other side when you're single. So I think that really is an indication of where wellness can be impacted by your mental health in a tremendous way, right? If you're not feeling well, are you going to go out and move your body?
No.
It feels like pulling cement.
Right.
But that would help you.
Yes. And, you know, I'm just relating that to my students, who are mostly women. They come for that clarity and that peace of mind. Usually because the beginning of the session will be a long list of things they've just finished doing.
Yes.
And, you know, so...
but there's a piece there, I think, that is really important. You also have a community. So when you come in and you know about the list, it's because you're having a chat and a discussion, and this is sort of your gang. And there's something very supportive and healthy about that. That is also part of this, right?
That's very true.
It's not just the movement, it's the
safe
community.
space. Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
You think about how we all really suffered, I'm generalizing, during COVID, during lockdown, because we lost our communities. And we can see that, you know, there were a lot of impacts on people in terms of their overall mental health and well-being. A lot of people gained weight. A lot of people developed addictions. You look at the lineups of the liquor store, remember, on the news as an essential service, but people were numbing, right? That is a very common practice when you feel trapped and you can't get the supports you need.
My Zoom live during COVID was packed.
Yeah, because that's the only way you'd have community.
Reaching for community.
Yes.
That's a really good point. Okay, so then you sort of answered that, but we'll just read the question.
Sure.
What are your thoughts on women overloading on everything we're doing?
I think it's true.
Cheers to that. So you come to me and you go to Marie.
So I should probably preface, I'm quite a direct counselor, so there's my disclaimer. But Do you want me to draw that little
Yeah,
chart?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, for sure.
I have a little tool because I think that sometimes mental health, we'll use this tray. I think that sometimes mental health is really difficult to understand from a perspective of, I work with a lot of people that are first responders or in very demanding jobs, and entrepreneurs, that kind of thing. And we normalize a lot of load. So
Normalize a lot of load.
yeah. Sorry if this isn't making sense, let me know. Okay, I will roughly try and draw this. If I have any clients that are happening to watch this, they will know exactly what I'm doing right now. So you're ahead of the game. Okay, so this is what I would, it's not a, I don't know if you can see that. Can you see that? Yeah, okay. So this is a capacity chart. I haven't filled it in yet, but we have stress in the bottom here. We have a minimum and a max. This is hospital. This is nervous breakdown. This is I can't cope. This is dangerous, right? This is where your body is going to shut down. We don't want to get here ever, but sometimes it happens. So let's pretend you have a really amazing, no stress, unicorns and rainbows life, okay? It doesn't really exist, but like, things are really great, okay? So let's say you start here in the day. And there's traffic, your kids are difficult, someone's rude to you at Starbucks. Okay, so you start and end in the same place. I don't know if everyone can see that. And you have a stress marker, recovery. Stress, recovery, stress, recovery. This is completely manageable for your nervous system.
Mm-hmm.
You can do this.
Low stress.
You can, yeah, there's stress, but like this is doable.
Yeah.
You add in, I don't know, aging parents, a financial stress, I don't know. An injury, sure.
Yeah.
Now, COVID, one of those things could move you up here. I'm just giving a list, right? A medical diagnosis for someone could bump them up here. So just be mindful, and this is not an opportunity for people to start comparing, well, I don't have it as bad as this person over here. This is not a comparison, right? It just, you're coping. So now you're waking up here.
Mm-hmm.
You have the same day,
Mm-hmm.
right? Traffic, Starbucks, kids. This is what it will start to look like when you move up. It's just this kind of plateau of all the time,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So you are in a space where you are very vigilant because you have very, if you look here, limited capacity, right? That's not a lot of space.
No.
Versus here, lots and lots of space. Sorry if you can see that, right?
Yeah.
So what happens here is this is proactive. This is, I don't know what your problem is, buddy, but get your latte. It's fine. Here, you're going to burst into tears or start fighting with that person, right? You're so rude, right? Road rage, all of that. So this is a really important thing to think about. So when you think, coming back to the question around capacity,
Yeah.
a lot of people live here.
Yeah.
This is a breeding ground for mental health issues.
Mm-hmm.
We can't stay here for long periods of time. This is not enough space to get all of your things
So
done.
are we all living here just
I think there are
getting by?
times, I call them baselines. They kind of go like this in life, right? You will see your students come in, and sometimes they're really ramped up, and it's like, okay,
Yeah.
we gotta get this
then?
down. Yeah. So what happens, to come back to that capacity question, is say you have 10 things to do in the day. So here, I can probably get 10 things done when I'm down, when my baseline's down.
Mm-hmm.
Women, sorry, I know there's probably men that do this too, so humor me. But when you move up here, most of the time, women will still try to cram the 10 things they're supposed to do when you have space for 2,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So this here, you don't achieve what you need to do in the day. You start to feel really frustrated. You start to get critical. We have really well-trained critical voices that we're very socialized to have. And so we start running all of this.
Yeah.
And I'm not good enough. I haven't done this. Oh, I haven't, done my green juice, my workout. Right? It's like, no, you can't right now.
Settle down.
You can't.
Yeah.
So what we want to do is say, okay, right now I can only do 2 things, and tomorrow I'm going to try and work on this piece, and I'm going to try and get it down and focus on this.
Getting
rather
back
than
into this level. Beautiful.
Yeah. So when you think, I call this a capacity chart, and I think it's really important for people to think of this as a visual, because oftentimes people come in and say, well, why do I feel like this? And I'm not necessarily looking at depression or anxiety as, sure, we have to deal with that, but there's a why.
Yeah.
So get to the root of it, as opposed to trying to sort of, I think of it like duct taping a canoe. Like,
yes. Which is a beautiful
you have to catch
aspect to your practice.
Yeah.
Incorporating the why and creating habits and practices
Yeah.
to resolve the why.
Yeah. Hopefully. Anyway.
Yeah. Okay, we've got the visual. Okay, so in my work, I always say expect the unexpected. So when my students show up, they're a new person every day on the mat.
Yes.
And I don't know what I'm getting. And they might not know what they're getting either from me.
Yes.
So you have a crisis plan. A crisis and trauma happens unexpectedly. What do you suggest?
Okay. So this is a funny tool. You're doing all my interventions now. Well done. Okay, this is
I did my research.
Okay, so if any of my clients are on this, again, you'll know what this is. This is a protocol I've developed because I think, especially where we live, it's an expensive place. I think there's a lot of pressure on people. Functionality can feel hard at times. And so it's not always easy to simply self-care.
Right.
Self-care, I think, has this trendy thing, take care of yourself, meditate, bubble bath, and you'll be good. And sometimes that's just not an option.
And it creates pressure.
Yeah,
That list of green juice and
yes,
everything.
Well, and I think with your work, and I'll be honest, I'm not as disciplined as you are on a good practice, so I'm human too. But it's a practice,
yeah,
right?
Yes.
It's a total practice of many small things that we sort of take into our daily lives to try and maintain a good sense of self or feeling well.
Yeah.
But sometimes that is not possible. You might have a big deadline at work, or we're coming out to back to school. That's a heavy time for families. Some families may be taking their kids off to university. That's a big moment. So there's lots of things that could be coming up that they're more intense.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We just came out of people trying to get home from this recent Air Canada crisis. So that's a stressful time. There's nothing you can do about it. You just have to deal with it. So I would view managing crisis or trauma in a different way. So I have this intervention called planning for your crisis. That's a very strange sentence for a counselor to say, to plan for your crisis. But it's a strange sentence because if you plan for your crisis, the aim is that you don't have the crisis. It's sort of like your earthquake bag. If it happens, right? You're ready to go. So the plan for the crisis is a practice that I have all my clients do at some point. I do it myself. I will literally get an old school date planner, but that's just me, and a pencil.
I like writing too.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I will plan out roughly when I'm going to have breaks throughout the year.
Yeah.
I think it's an important practice for everyone. I think it's very important for anyone who is in like a service type of offering, because we are the products. We have to, if we don't take care of ourselves, I'm no good to clients. So I've kind of integrated it myself. So I will roughly, in pencil, know when I have breaks. So the plan is in the year. So we're coming to September. A lot of people view that as a new year. You sort of plan like, okay, I think I have runway I can do this for 30 days. I can work and then I need a break. A break could be a spa day. It doesn't mean you're flying to Portugal, right? But maybe it is. It might be, I can work for 60 days and then I need a break. So throughout my year, I know roughly when all my breaks are. I might have to move them, hence the pencil. But that keeps me really sharp
Yes.
so that I take care of myself. What tends to happen, I think, is people burn out, they get to the top of their capacity chart, and then they book a last minute trip, I don't know, wherever they can go,
Spontaneous, yeah.
and it's too late. Think about when we were all in school, right? The exam weeks that we had, right?
Jammed up stress.
Yes, our exam used to be in the gym, all of us together. Anyway, that's another day. Anyway, so the piece I think that's important around that is we all were struggling. Like there was not I don't think anyone really enjoyed the pressure of that, but you knew there was an end. Like if I get to this, then we have a break.
Yes. Yeah.
So we do well with that.
Mm-hmm. A deadline.
Yeah.
Just like
I
the
got to
opposite,
here and
a
then
deadline.
I'm gonna have a break. And that again doesn't happen. That could be one client, her runway right now with what's going on is 5 days. So she's not getting on a plane every weekend, but she has an intentional booked coffee with a friend,
Beautiful.
walks the dog,
Yeah.
and has like a really beautiful coffee on a Saturday morning for 2 hours. So it's planned, there's an intention,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, I'm just gonna get to that and that's my little break. So it doesn't have to be major.
No. I feel that needs to be in very small capacity every single day. Every single day.
I like that. Yeah, that's a good idea.
It's 24 hours in a day. You're sleeping, half
That's
part of
I've
it
never thought of it that way.
every single day. And I do that for myself.
So what do you do?
Well, I have a dog, so I walk the dog.
Yes.
And that's a huge,
Yeah, animals are incredible.
yes.
For that.
If I didn't have the dog, I would still find my time to go into nature, sit by the water, go into the woods, or just find space away from technical noise.
Fair. That's fair. Do you feel that when you're doing your Pilates work, that
When I'm
is there-
working, it's
it's more?
it's interwoven, but it's working and I'm on.
Yes.
When I do my own practice,
That's
that's
like
my
your moment.
little
your little
my little
recovery moment.
yeah. Drag your mat wherever you can, and go on the grass.
Yeah.
Go in a little sacred space in your
Yeah.
home.
Yeah.
So, and I find that is, it starts to become something that you crave every day.
Mm-hmm.
This chair that I'm sitting on
Mm-hmm.
is my chair.
Okay.
And and at 5:30 in the morning, I will sit here cross-legged, do my meditation, not somewhere else.
This is your spot.
Yeah, and the house is still quiet.
Yeah.
And I have a half hour. I did that on purpose. My mother told me when I became a mom, she said, here's my secret. I have one tip for you.
Your sauce. Your
Yes.
secret sauce.
And she said, wake up earlier than the family and always create time for yourself.
What good advice.
So
Yeah.
there we go.
I actually have that reminds me, I have a client that she's trying to get into her fitness and she's doing really well. And she says, I always feel rushed in the morning. She has to she goes to different classes. And I said, set your alarm like 40 minutes earlier.
Yes.
And now she gets up, and it seems counterintuitive because you're saying I'm getting less sleep, but what happens is she gets up, she has her coffee, and then she goes to her class.
It's ritual.
And everything just flows instead of this
Rushing in, dumping your bag. Yeah.
But it does feel like, if we're waking up and doing those things, that we're missing sleep, but I think it actually can be helpful.
Well, you just go to bed earlier.
Well, you want to go to bed earlier
Yeah.
because you're getting up earlier.
Yeah.
So, anyway,
Patterns.
love it.
So, okay, we have, here's a question, mental blocks. We have experienced them, all of us have experienced mental blocks. Do you have tools to help?
Can you describe that a little bit? What do you mean by mental block?
Mental block. Maybe this is more for younger clients as well.
Okay.
If they are either trying to figure out the next step into post-secondary, or even creatively. Creatives have mental blocks where we feel at a point where we're stagnant and it's the same. And
So, okay, I'll try and answer this. If I don't answer it well, you tell me. But let me think about that.
there's no wrong way.
I think I would first go into the reflection of, again, what's the root? So is there, now PTSD and trauma can really create numbness and mental blocks. So this is a nuanced topic because I think there's many different ways that this could come up for someone. So if we put that piece down, because I think that has some logic to it that most people
That makes huge sense.
would understand.
Yes.
The next thing I would say, and this is where, again, this is not my training, but what's happening in your body,
Yeah.
your hormones, how are you taking care of yourself? Because if you're physically worn out, your brain is going to be
Shut
impacted
down.
as well. So
Yeah.
that's another piece. If all of that is sort of checking out, and you're still experiencing, say, concerns around post-secondary or creative elements, it usually tells me there's an element of burnout. So this is where the practices of planning for a crisis are important, right? Now, it's obviously gone too far at that point, so there has to be some recovery.
Right.
So there's this concept that Wayne, one of my associates, he's also one of my mentors, developed over COVID, so I have to give him credit for this. But this idea around replenish and recovery.
Yeah.
Replenish is the ideal. Recovery is what we need to have day to day. I think students, especially in moving into post-secondary, especially in their senior years of high school, or I teach grad students, there's a lot of burnout there. You don't always have the option to stop, but you do have the option to take a moment. So it's sort of like recovery is stopping the car and just turning it off. Replenish is stopping the car and putting gas in it. We don't always have that option, but if there's burnout, I think you have to change it up a little bit. Like, start with taking care of yourself, maybe talking to a practitioner, maybe going to a class like yours. Just allow yourself a moment to kind of recalibrate. It's sort of like my mom used to always say, when I was really fatigued, sometimes I remember, actually it was probably during exams, she'd be like, you just need to have a nap. I'm like, I'm fine. And then you have a nap,
Reset.
and it just, you feel a little calmer, and then you can kind of tackle things a bit better, right?
I think also, because you were saying something that made me, I also suggest to my students, sometimes just remove yourself, change the environment.
Yes. Yeah.
I get that a lot. Students of mine, clients of mine feel mental block in their own careers, or just at a stagnant standstill. Nothing feels like it has energy. And then I just suggest them change your environment. Change everything. Just change it up. Change the route that you're driving to work every day. You know?
The only thing that maybe also would come in when someone feels sort of in that stuck position is sometimes I think there's an element of feeling trapped in what you know, if you're a parent and you have a lot of responsibilities, you can't just sort of leave those.
Yeah.
Or you're in a job where, you know, you get a promotion and now you've got more pressure and you have other things that and responsibilities at home that, you know, that job assists with. So in terms of your compensation and things. So I think sometimes there's an element of feeling trapped, and it's about trying to look at how do I maybe reshape my life. I think that's a very common thing actually for people sort of in the 40 to 60 bracket, that there is that sort of stagnation because you feel like this is where I'm at, and you don't always have to do that. You have to work through it, but that's where having objective supports around you. Friends and family are great, but they usually have some bias.
Right.
Is a little bit harder.
That's very true.
Yeah.
You answered it.
Oh, good. Okay.
We're gonna go over time a little bit, so, because I want to get through the Instagram questions that were sent to me, and I knew that this would be a longer chat. You're coming back.
Okay, I would be happy to.
Excellent, thank you. So, question from Instagram: teen parenting with social media is very different. How would you suggest parents cope today?
Yes, that's a great question coming into September as well. I think social media and AI are a blessing and a curse. So I think there is a piece here where we didn't grow up with it, so it feels foreign, but it can also be a great thing, right? Like, look how we connected, look at this, we've got a whole new group of friends here. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So I think that there's a piece around, first of all, we have to own how are you modeling it to your kids.
Yep.
That's the first piece. Outside of that, I would look at how are you communicating with your kids. Now, there's again nuance to that because not everyone has really great relationships with their kids and their teens, but it's really critical, I think, at times to allow them space to explore. This is a way for most younger people to have conversations and connections, but then to also be able to check in with them about, like, are we moving into things that are not necessarily happy or healthy?
Right.
There's a very, very famous quote, I think it was Eleanor Roosevelt, but I probably have that wrong. Comparison is the thief of joy. I think about that a lot with social media because there is a lot of comparison, and if you don't have a good sense of self, which a lot of teenagers, being that they're just developing their own personalities and personas, may be impacted by that. So checking in is really important. There is another lane to this if it really sort of goes out of the realm of potentially your control. There are different apps and things that you can actually put on your, to manage your kids' social media, but that would be in a more extreme space, and I think then we're moving into where does consent sit for them, how are you supporting their sense of agency. So again, there's some nuance there, but I think the piece around how am I showing up and showing my way of managing social media, am I checking in, and you notice, how often is my child using their devices, right? We used to have a rule, wasn't always followed, but we used to have a rule, devices would be in the kitchen at night.
Yeah. The bedroom for us after a certain hour.
But schooling now is requiring these tools, so we can't necessarily take them away.
Yeah.
So there has to be an element of management. But again, remember, the kids that are using all of these tools now are going to continue in their adulthood to do this, whereas for us, it was new.
It's very true. It's a part of their life.
So we're teaching them how to manage it, right?
And the first statement you said is how are we an example as parents? So I'm very mindful of that on my page, and I have young people that follow me. I have my kids that follow me, and young family members. It's how we are an example first.
I absolutely agree, and I think that with the horrible things that are going on in the world right now, we used to live in, I feel like I'm making us sound so old. We're not old. We're not old.
No, we're not.
But we're not. But
well, it's just
before the news would show what's going on, it would have some sort of censorship in terms of, what we're about to see might be graphic for some audiences or some kind of disclaimer. Now, we all will see various different things happen in the world in a very real and sort of gritty way, because people are all newscasters.
Right.
And the bombardment of being shown this type of information, there's something called secondary trauma that can happen. And if you are not equipped to kind of see something that is really graphic and real, it can affect your mental health quite significantly, much like a trauma that would have happened in the traditional sense we would think of a person is called secondary trauma.
Wow.
Or
So monitor what they're watching, always check in,
Yeah.
and I feel that we have to learn, as this question was asked, how to cope as opposed to avoidance, because it is going to be a part of their future. So, okay, that's a long topic that you could.
Yes, there's a lot of studies around this. There's a lot of great books around that too. So if anyone has any questions,
We can add them to the post after.
Yeah.
Can you suggest websites or apps you would recommend in dealing with anxiety?
Yes. Okay. Again, I'm going to go back to why. Why do you have anxiety? What's the root? Because some anxiety is good, and that might be a weird thing to say, but anxiety can be very helpful.
I agree. Yeah.
You get things done, and it keeps you motivated, right? It gets your task done in a day. When it runs you with intrusive thoughts and things like that, that's suffering. So it needs to be more controlled. So I think, what you're talking about practices that if you're starting to feel more anxious, okay, there's an imbalance in my life somewhere.
Right.
Am I burnt out? Do I need to start taking care of myself? Am I super fatigued? Am I eating properly? So those are factors that always come into play. I would ask first what the root is. So of course, being a therapist, I would recommend maybe checking in with someone to guide you. But in the meantime, there are great apps, in terms of like Calm and Headspace. I think Headspace, most people have Spotify. I think they have a couple free lessons in Spotify that you can do, and it's quite helpful. The piece you want to be mindful of around anxiety is, and you've probably seen this in your room, most people come when the crisis is hit. Meditation won't work when you're in the crisis. Meditation works when you've had this practice, and then you come into it and your body and your brain is like, oh, I know what this is, we do this, we love, this is good, this is safe. Okay.
Yeah.
If you start trying to meditate while you're in crisis for the first time, it's almost impossible. So remember that. The practice piece is important. Your brain is just like a muscle, but you have to practice that. There are other apps, and there's different things like cognitive behavioral therapy that you can, I can give you some information
I'll
about
write all
that.
the list on my post.
Yeah, but I think there's lots of different ways, and
Yeah.
I would say movement is incredible help with anxiety.
I agree, and I also want to add to give these apps to young people at any time, sooner the better. The Calm app is a great app.
Yeah.
It has a younger section with stories,
Yeah.
bedtime stories for little kids.
Read by celebrities.
Read by celebrities. Yeah, it's very, very intelligent the way it's put together, and visuals of the breathing practices that I teach people. So we'll add those to our post. And okay, Marie, final question.
Yeah.
With the recent media attention of multiple suicides in British Columbia, there are at least 6 that have been noted recently since 2025. What do you think the solution is? This is from actually a friend of mine who is a paramedic, and he said that this is a huge problem.
Yes, I work with a lot, because I'm a trauma-based therapist. I work a lot with first responders, police, fire. I would say an ER doctor would be one, obviously paramedics, among others. So I think there's a couple things around this, and I'm really glad that this has come up. I've been working with another person potentially to be starting something around this, because this is a huge problem. I think the first responder space is not fully supported. Paramedics in particular, I have to be careful that I don't get myself in trouble here, do not have really good systems in place to support the level of traumatic incident that they witness, and then it's the next. And if you think about the toll that would have, you think about secondary trauma and the emotion, and they're dealing with human beings that are in major crisis, right? Life-threatening potentially. very graphic scenes, first on site, right? The graphic nature of a lot of their work is very under-supported, I think. So there are different spaces within these different first responder groups where some are a little bit better at managing the post-incident recovery.
Okay.
And my understanding with the paramedics is there is a bit of a gap in that. So when people do not have necessary supports in place, which is a proactive way of managing the work that they do, it loads. You can't come home and talk to your families about this because it's so graphic at times. It's too upsetting, right? Or you don't want to talk about it. So you hold it, and you hold it, and you hold it. It's not healthy. So we have to take care of the people who take care of the people. And when we don't do that, these are the sorts of situations, right? This suicidal ideation is a piece that comes with mental health imbalance. Well, if they are dealing with these sorts of situations, I think there's a valid concern here.
Huge.
To take care of them, because they take care of us.
So caretakers need to be taken care of.
Caretakers need to be taken care of. They need to be taken care of. And this is where there's high levels of addiction, there's high levels of suicidal ideation, there's high levels of divorce, because it's a very taxing, it's also shift work, so there's sleep deprivation.
Yeah.
It's a very taxing job.
Wow.
And I think we forget what, you might see something that's minor, right? Like, I don't know, a fireman's coming to take a cat out of a tree. Sure, that's not a super traumatic situation, but when it's bad, it's bad. So we have to take care of them. This to me is like evidence that this is a problem.
Yeah.
It's awful.
It's got my mind racing for my own
I'm
practice.
really glad that question came
Yeah.
up because it is a huge gap.
I'm going to run a retreat for caretakers.
Our people. We take care of our people.
Everyone, thank you for joining. We went over time and we could have talked so much more.
I know.
Marie,
I talked
it was a
lot,
pleasure.
sorry.
Thank you. You're awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, and this wraps up today. Next week I have another wonderful woman coming and joining me, and I'll share that on my post. I'm enjoying these chats very, very much. I hope you are too. And we'll see Marie again.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank
it
you.
was so nice. If there's any questions, I'm happy to give some resources. This
Yep.
was really lovely. So
Bye,
thanks,
everyone. Have a lovely day.
Bye.
Bye.